Well, the banner held up proudly, but they are bottom of the table without a win so far. Rochdale not doing a great deal better, just above them, 11th in the table. They have 2 wins from their 13 games. And Swinton can go level with Rochdale, should they win this. Rochdale win, and they close on Dewsbury in 10th. Matt Rossley has charge of this, the penultimate game then of this Summer Bash weekend in Blackpool, and as the weather forecasters predicted, just getting a little bit humid and cloudy, potential of thunderstorms perhaps later in the day, maybe for the heavy woolen derby. Here the sun coming through again as we get underway. Rochdale in the red and white and blue, kicking us off. Swinton with first touch of the ball in the hands of their captain Andy Braychek. And these two sides have been waiting patiently for their turn. They got here in good time, not risking any bank holiday traffic problems, so they have been sitting on their hands for a while. I think getting a little bit restless, keen to get into the action.
I'm sure they are, Bill, and a change of routine will do them well. But as you say, both of them at the bottom of the table. The players know that they need to work hard, they need to show the commitment to each other and to change the results. Really, it's only the lads on the pitch that can do that, and they'll be all wanting a big performance here today.
Josh Woods puts the kick in. One of the players that Swinton are able to access from the Wigan Warriors club, 20 years of age, Josh Woods, who has made a first team appearance. And 1 or 2 Warrington players on the opposite side, these two clubs able to benefit from those arrangements. There is Alan Kilshaw, the Rochdale coach, youngest coach in the championship, just a bit younger than his opposite number, Stuart Littler. So 2 young guns in coaching terms. Is Rochdale in possession, just going over the halfway line.
Well, both of these teams now will get to the kick. They've got through the first set of 6, no mistakes, confident start from both of them, making ground when they've got the ball, and that's a good first take as well. Tyler, an awful lot of pressure, Bergel.
Yeah, Tyler Whittaker's kick, and Ilias Bergel, the French international, able to claim that ball before he was claimed. Then the penalty is awarded.
Well, you turn the opposition round, you get them where you want them, and then all of a sudden you give a penalty away for trying to slow down the play. It's slow enough this anyway. You get the little strip, there's an error, and all of a sudden it gives the opposition that valuable 10-15 metres.
Richard Lepori was loitering in the vicinity. Seems he might have been the culprit. So, after a good kick from Tyler Whittaker, the pressure is released. This Stuart Littler, very experienced in playing terms, maybe still finding his way in coaching terms.
He certainly was a competitor when he played the game. He'll set his side high standards as they look to shift the ball here.
With Gabriel Fell, the fullback. Oh, Billy Brickhill put the shoulder in then on the tackle. George Tyson it was who felt the force of that. And the kick hoisted by Woods. It's a wicked one coming down right on that try line. The chase is good as well.
Well, he's such an intelligent player, isn't he, Josh Woods? The young age that he is, but he's got a high rugby IQ, knows where to land that ball, and the pressure then from his teammates. Look at this, perfect timing as well.
It's a good take as well, isn't it, by Declan Kate? He had to keep his eyes on the ball. No doubt he would have felt, heard the on-rushing.
Goal line dropout, first of the game. And Ben Austin brings it back, former Wigan Academy player Austin. Luke Waterworth, now here is Andy Braychek. Former Welsh international, now 34 years of age. Austin, oh, lovely ball to Hope, Will Hope, wearing 25. An Irish international out there, Waterworth. Swinton pressing. They come back towards those posts and over the line and get the first try of the game. And no, Josh Woods is held up, says referee Matt Rossley.
What about the ball from Luke Waterworth though? He hit Josh Woods. It was about 25-metre pass, right on the button.
Well, Rochdale did well to deny him because he was really motoring then.
Oh, good defence, wasn't it, from Kate?
So a little grubber kick comes in and there's going to be more pressure and they just managed to defuse it. Dekke gets a hand to it.
Some really significant involvements from Dekke in defence. Ball is spilt by his teammate Rob Massam, and then Kay's there. There's the replay we're seeing of the try held. That's a try-saving attempt, and then he was solid under the high ball. The start of that set as well that led to the repeat set for Swinton. Good start from the fullback. That's a real confidence booster.
So another goal line dropout. Rochdale with the kick. Picked up by Braychek. And he runs it straight back where it came from. Tackle on the 40-metre line. So Swinton having all the early pressure here at Bloomfield Road. Here is Will Hope, Sheffield player last year. Waterworth. Austin. Oh, lovely ball back inside to Mike Putz. Good defence as well. Needed to be. Here is Woods again. Woods gets the ball. Oh, what a classic tackle from Joe Tyra. Whoa, you felt that one up here, but they could yet be in. They are. I think it's Waterworth. Luke Waterworth gets the first try of the game, despite the best defensive efforts of this Rochdale side, including that hit from Joe Tyra. There's two Rochdale players down, but when the dust settled, Luke Waterworth had got over for his third try of this season to get the championship's bottom side off the mark.
Well, expansive play. What about this shot here? Woods, when he goes at the line, fell. Wow, get that into you from Tyra. Then when Tyra stands up here, he's more or less patting himself on the back. Just switches off, and clever play from Luke Waterworth. That is a tremendous shot, the shot of the weekend for me from Tyra. But Waterworth, knowing that there's going to be some space, gets down low and gets over for the opening try.
21-year-old Luke Waterworth then gets the first try of the game, and the Swinton supporters celebrating. I bet it's hot in that Lions hat, but jubilant because Stuart Littler's side have got off the mark. There hasn't been a lot for Swinton to cheer about this season, although they did draw with the Barrow Raiders last week. If they'd had a goal kicker, they could even have won that game, but Brad Billsborough wasn't playing, and they didn't kick their goals. They did kick that one, and 6-0, Swinton lead, nearly 7 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, great shot from Joe Tyra, back on the inside here on Gabriel Fell, but that's half your job done. You get yourself into marker, that'll make the highlight reel. The next 5 seconds won't, because he's switched off momentarily, and Luke Waterworth's taken full advantage.
There is Joe Tyra, big Fijian player, ex-Rochdale Cobras. Oh! And the classic restart clanger.
And then offside then, Bill.
And significantly, it's a penalty as well, isn't it? Because, and I think he had to do that too, because there was a danger there was going to be 6 points coming off the back of this. So Hankinson does well to tidy that one up, albeit conceding a penalty.
Hankinson had just returned from converting that try and then concedes the penalty, and immediately Rochdale are able to put the pressure on this Swinton defence from the restart. And Swinton, oh, that's an ankle tap, but it's not enough. They're in at the corner, and Richard Lepori gets the try immediately from the restart. Swinton come up with the error, and they pay a heavy price for it. Lepori getting his first try of the season. Alan Kilshaw's instructions down to the sideline.
Well, Lepori was a great and confident finisher, but there's some passing involved in the lead up to this one. We'll start with the error. He just took his eyes off the ball, conceded the penalty because Hankinson wanted to secure the ball. But have a look at some of the hands involved in the build-up here. Lovely little flick pass round the back. And then on from Hurst to Lepori, who finishes in the corner. That's the ball we're talking about. Declan Kay, I think it is the fullback. It's a beautiful pass from Rochdale themselves. Get on the scoreboard.
Richard Lepori, 26 years of age, and a try scorer at the Summer Bash last year as an Oldham player, and scored 2 against Rochdale. Now he's in Rochdale colours. Tyler Whitaker with the conversion attempts. Warrington Academy player. And available to Rochdale for the dual reg, under the dual reg purposes. He's converted that, and the scores immediately are level. Swinton, having taken the lead, converted their try. Rochdale hit back. We've also got early injury news from Angela.
Yeah, in between both of those tries there was Billy Brickhill came off the pitch with blood streaming down his face. He's taken a bit of a bang to the top of his nose, and the doctor, it looks like, is trying to do an ad hoc tape up of it at the moment. He's not concussed though, so he will be able to go back on once he's been cleaned up.
I think it was Joe Tyra. Joe Tyra has certainly made an impact. He's cleaned out an opposition player. He's flattened one of his own team.
And we've only got 9 minutes on the clock.
Just keep out of his way.
In the opening stages, this is where they were very good, Swinton. Rochdale found it really difficult to get up the field. A couple of repeat sets that they had, and they had the ball getting it over the try line. And there's Dave Allen. He's a key member of this Rochdale side. He was boy wonder him when he was 12 years of age. Signed for Wigan, played Super League for Wigan.
Oh, Lee Mitchell's been hit hard, lost the ball. Braychek picks it up. Free play. Earl Hurst picks it up. They'll bring it back, and it's back for the original knock-on. And Lee Mitchell, another one of the experienced players out there, feeling the combined force of the Swinton defenders.
Well, it wasn't the best ball, was it? I think it was George Tyson that was waiting for Lee Mitchell, running on his own. When the hooker gets out, passes the ball on to him, he just got cleaned out.
Lee Mitchell involved very much with the Warrington community team, works a lot on the Sky Try project with colleague Lee Westwood. Both of them on duty for Rochdale Hornets for this Summer Bash game. Here is Braychek. Can they capitalise on that Rochdale error? Waterworth, the try scorer, that ball's gone backwards, but they lose momentum. No, it hasn't gone backwards, says the referee. Knock on.
Knock on. It was a loose pass, goes straight through the hands of Josh Woods. And then when Gabriel Felt tries to get on it as well.
Is that the knock on?
Yep.
It's a knock on.
It must have been off Josh Woods, either Josh Woods or Gabriel Felt.
Well, it's off Gabriel. It's off Gabriel Felt, because where the scrum is being packed down, he's saying that there's an error there. And it's the second error. It's the one that's furthest behind.
And it's a second attempt at the scrum as well. Not happy with that. Rochdale's head and feed.
Impressed with the start of the fullback, Declan Kay. I think he's had a try assist in there to his name, as well as some solid efforts in defence. Interesting to see how he injects himself into that attacking line as Rochdale try to find some rhythm. A rhythm that's been disrupted so far in this game, mainly due to the good defensive display of Swinton.
Setareki Talatoka playing the ball for Rochdale. Henceforth known as he is at the club as Seta Tala.
And one of 3 players, Bill, who were actually playing amateur rugby at the start of this season.
Jonah Cunningham playing the ball, son of Kieran, who is here today. And a chip off the old block, according to those who've watched him in action. There he is, wearing number 17.
He's built like him. He likes the short side players as well, Cunningham. Exactly like what his dad used to do.
Little kick comes in, and Dave Fell is greeted by Lee Mitchell and Earl Hurst. Rochdale trying to force the error.
Well, they could do with just spending a bit of time down here. When Swinton have been up the other end of the field, they've looked dangerous. You'd like to see a couple of sets here now where Swinton or where Rochdale can put pressure on Swinton. Not sit back, they've got enough talented players. This Swinton side that will cause you problems in that good field position.
Hankinson plays the ball. Hope for Swinton. Is there hope for Swinton? Bottom of the table. They need a win today, if there is to be. That kick claimed in the swirling breeze by Deck K.
Did well then as well, Jack Hansen, to get away from trouble, then steps off his right foot, gets the kick away under an awful lot of pressure. Good strong carry here.
Rob Massam it was. Plays the ball, having made a good ground for the Rochdale side. Austin. Here is Dave Allen now. Just over the halfway line goes the Irish international Dave Allen. Rochdale motoring forward. It's Lewis Hatton keeping it alive. Oh, out the back, and setter Talla couldn't take the pass. Knock on there, just got a little bit too fancy.
Probably a bit too smart for him. I think it was Danny Yates who offloads the ball out the back. It's a blind offload. Yeah, he's looking to play. Yeah, he's trying to find some space on the edge for his teammates, but got to come up with a better player than that. He's a good player, Danny Yates, can change the tempo of the game as well. Got an awful lot of skill.
6 points apiece, the scoreline between Rochdale Hornets and Swinton Lions. The sun still shining at Bloomfield Road. Penultimate game of the Summer Bash, the Heavy Woolen Derby to come. Dewsbury, Batley, Dewsbury. Rodri Lloyd plays the ball.
Good run there by George Tyson. Some energy injected into that Swinton attack.
5:15 for the final game of what's been an enjoyable weekend. Maybe not the buzz around the ground as there was yesterday, but good weekend to be in Blackpool. Plenty going on. And something going on here for Swinton. The ball over the top. Scrambling defence. Tyson just brought down short of that try line. Fell. Cross field kick and claimed by Dion Cross.
It's a poor kick really from Josh Woods. He had some chance again over on that left hand side. Another strong run for Rob Massam. He's good for 20 carries a game and over 150 metres in those carries.
There he goes. Cross and Massam making good progress up the field for this Rochdale side. Cunningham just serves the ball up to Allen. Allen on to Danny Yates. It's a London scholar, Danny Yates. Jonah Cunningham, hands on hips. Matty Haddon loses the ball.
Well, just on impact, wasn't it? Good defence from Swinton, fronting up. Luke Waterworth, look at this now, sets his feet, hits straight and hard on the ball. I was there watching his brother-in-law yesterday, Luke Waterworth. Bob Bezic, who plays at the Toronto Wolfpack.
Yeah, they had a lively game.
Tremendously lively. At the end, the beginning, the middle.
A lively weekend. Some good close games. Nobody has run away with a game yet. They've all been close-ish contests.
No, it's the players rising to the occasion, playing on the big stage, decent field, decent stadium, and they all get excited just the same as lads at Super League weekend when they go up to the Magic.
We've seen Toulouse beat London Broncos from the top of the table already this afternoon, and now we've got the bottom two in action as Hankinson plays the ball. Woods, Rodri Lloyd, Welsh international, Welsh-speaking Welsh international, no less. Little kick stabbed into the in-goal area. It is a good one, but just a bit too strong. And Deke is able to watch that one go over the dead ball line.
Well, second kick that he won't be happy with. Young Josh Woods certainly does play rugby with his eyes up, and you can see that the dominance he's got on this side. And it's good for the likes of him and other players who step down playing this championship. Quite as quick as Super League, but really tough. Learn the trade.
Move! Hold, boys. Hold. Go.
Cunningham. And good hands.
Move!
Kay plays the ball. Doing well to keep this alive, Rochdale. Now, Seta Tala couldn't take the pass.
2 knock-ons there, 2 knock-ons.
And they'll bring it back. That was building nicely for Rochdale.
And unlike the previous combination between the two, I think that was eminently catchable and in some space as well. The build-up play was good, and they're finding a rhythm at Rochdale. The starts of the sets we've seen have been consistently good, and then starting to poke their nose through that Swinton defensive line. Tala couldn't take the ball.
It's gone now.
Alan Kilshaw just frustrated there because that looked really promising for his side.
Head in.
Said Bill before, Alan Kilshaw is an intelligent coach, and talk about the players given a chance in this division. You've got the English coaches as well
Out!
that learn the trade.
One. Move! Hold here, hold.
A couple of hard carries here now is what needed from Swinton.
He's been good, hasn't he, Tyson? He's not always had a clear space to run in, but he's been foot to the floor every single time he's got the ball.
Here's Pat Moran.
Move!
Another of the Warrington contingent to getting game time with the club, and this is looking promising for Swinton. Hankinson brought down. Hansen into the middle of the field where Braychek takes it up.
5. Move!
That's the 5th tackle.
Hold here.
About
Hold.
12
Go.
metres out. Still keeping it alive, and Lloyd puts the kick in, but it's not the best. And Rochdale will counter with Lepori.
They're getting through the sets well, but they're not ending the sets well. Swinton, a few times now that the kicks have been poor.
You could level the same accusation at Rochdale. Again, Lepori starts the set well. Jonah Cunningham with the next run out of dummy half, and then this is tackles 3 and 4 and 5. Things just seem to break down a little.
This is where they need to keep them by that field position, Rochdale. You'd like to see them getting through the line and playing off some power, maybe even some second phase. Dave Allen's one of those players that's got a really good offload.
Yeah.
Here's a good kick now from Tyler Whittaker, just buying a bit of time, really.
Yeah, better set, wasn't it, from Rochdale. They're going to play Swinton in the territory battle, aren't they? Down the other end of the field. Not in any particular mood to go round again. They know they've got a big pack that's working hard at the moment. That's a smart decision.
6 points apiece.
One more.
And
One more.
it is
One more.
a very warm afternoon.
One more.
Very humid now, the clouds closing in, and players feeling the heat. You can see some pretty flushed faces out there, because the game has been played at a cracking pace as well. We've had 21 minutes and hardly a stoppage in it.
It's been very good. As I said before, Bill, the players are really rising to the occasion. I think when you look at the stats, Alan Kilshaw won't be happy with his team more or less completing at 50%. They need to up that against a real desperate Swinton side that seem to have an awful lot of class in the opposition's half.
Swinton on the halfway line, in possession. 4 tackles gone this set of 6. And like that left-hand side, here's Gabriel Fell. Played his rugby league at Workington last year in his second spell with Swinton as Woods hoists the kick. And that's a good chase. Pats on the back.
He's dealt with everything though, hasn't he? It was a good chase, it was a good kick. lands in perfect position, good timing as well to get the tackle in. And I think that when you look at what he did under that high ball, under an awful lot of pressure, Kurt, he dealt with it.
I'll tell you what impressed me as well. Josh Woods had to adjust his last tackle option. He was going to come open side here and had a big kick chase sorted out under a high bomb. There was a bit of kick pressure and he's adjusted, and his short side men, Burgle and Thornley off the bench, have really come through for him because they've followed through on that and applied some real pressure to Declan Kay, who, as you say, he's had the measure of everything that Swinton have had to throw at him so far.
Swinton have forced a third goal line dropout, which is indicative of the pressure that they've been exerting on their opponents, and Yates drills this one along the ground upfield. Now it's in the hands of Mike Butt, former England student international. So Swinton, in terms of territorial advantage, they have had the upper hand so far in the first 22 minutes or so. But it's 6 points apiece. They're on the attack again, and the ball once more is spilled. And Lapori will counter. No, he won't.
Good ball, though, wasn't it? Again, one of the man we seem to be talking about all the time here is Josh Woods. But look, he goes at the line, defenders defending on the heels. Tyson is the man.
He just didn't commit to his line, did he?
No. When he picks that line, he doesn't know whether he's going to step off his left foot, try and beat the man opposite him. He's got to catch the ball or hit the line and stick true to that line.
Yeah, he had options both inside and outside of Earlhurst, who was looking worried and flat-footed in defence. I think caught in two minds. You don't commit to either, and that's where you end up pulling up short and the ball comes out. But Swinton certainly looked more comfortable in attack this end of the field. Certainly look like they've got the most options as well in attack. Josh Woods seems to be pulling all the strings for them at the moment. Big contact.
Josh Barlow went looking for Joe Tyra. They're sort of same philosophy, I think, those two, Barlow and Joe Tyra.
He is all action, isn't he? He's involved in everything, good and bad.
There's Josh Barlow, though, of the Sam Barlow clan. Quite a character, Josh Barlow, Scottish international. Here's Dave Allen. Oh, and Allen, very nonchalant handoff, just sort of almost like a butler. Here is the ball, sir.
That's that offload that I talk about. He's got that late offload. Very good. Good high kick here.
Swirling in the wind. Oh, and referee says, yeah, there was a tackle in the air that Swinton players objected to. Not surprisingly, Ilias Bergal didn't like that, the French international. Richard Lapori, the Italian. It's an international game, this.
There's some Latin blood, some blood boiling in the corner of that field. Yeah, and it's a dangerous attempt. It's a vulnerable position when your feet are off the floor. He's overcooked the catch attempt. I didn't realize it was necessary to do that. But Lapori rightly been spoken to, and I think Ilias Bergal is going to have a little word from the referee as well, just about the way he's reacted to that. The penalty's going to go the way of Swinton.
Ilias Bergal, once a Catalan Dragons junior. UTC was his club back in his hometown of Perpignan, and he's come to Swinton via the Lee Centurions club. Here is Josh Barlow now, and there's a reception committee for Barlow. Once a Halifax player, Josh. Swinton appealing for the penalty, Waterworth was. Edging their way up the field.
Just keeping it nice and tight here, Bill.
Just managed to keep a hold of that as Woods drills a kick downfield, looking for a 40-20. But Massam there to watch the ball, keep a close eye on it and return it.
Kept the Rochdale on, trying to keep them down the bottom end of the field, kicking on the third player, just straight up carries. They're just trying to turn the pressure and keep Rochdale as far down near their own line as possible.
Earlhurst is held, calls the referee, just inside his own
There he
half.
go, Barlow.
Lee Mitchell.
Well, there you go. That serves you. If you're lining up for a carry and there's only you going to put your hand up for it, you've got to be aware of them sort of players.
Oh, it was a good step from Lee Mitchell. Got himself out of the firing line as the human cannibal came hurtling towards him. Well, Rochdale, the kick hoisted across field by Deck-Kay, and it's not out on the full yet. Oh, and they couldn't capitalise. Hankinson, the ball hanging in the air, little something said. Tyson says something back. Not a lot of love lost.
No, and there won't be as well. Well, you can see when he goes for the ball, Tyson knocks it forward, then it goes out with the field of play. And they'll be really happy with this. Tyler Whitaker really seems to have stepped up over on that right-hand side, controlling an awful lot.
Needs to do better, doesn't he? George Tyson there. You know, it's an opportunity to recover possession and extinguish a threat. Instead, he's put his team under pressure again. There's a couple of things there that snuck into his game. I mean, you don't question his enthusiasm and his effort. He's been excellent in that department. But
Johnny, he does run good hard lines.
But
like
just in terms of his execution, his last couple of involvements in the game.
So Rochdale on the back of that error. But that's good defence to stop Declan Kay's progress. Massam, and Massam takes them on himself. 8 tries to his name so far this season, Rob Massam. Now it's with Jonah Cunningham. Cunningham to Yates. There is Cunningham. Cunningham serves it up again.
Release 4.
And right in front of those posts. Stepping. Whitaker gets the pass away. Yates mobbed though. Good defence.
5, move. Hold here. Go.
Paisley leading the way. They go down the short side. The pass not a good one. It's gone backwards, but they've lost some momentum. And that one, they're offside, says the referee. And that is an untidy end to what would have been a promising bit of pressure.
Well, when they go
for Rochdale.
Sorry, Bill. When they go to the left-hand side, the ball was too hard from Cunningham.
Watch right here, Rochdale.
And then player was stood in front. I think it's Lee Mitchell. And the referee calls it right.
So the penalty releases the pressure. Barlow has lost that ball. He was under pressure.
You could see he looked to offload it straight away, didn't he? 3 players around him. I said before, he's all action.
And Barlow protesting there that the ball was ripped from his grasp.
He gets his arm free. You could see he's not happy, but he knows that he's made the mistake. Look, there's hands around it. He could have a point there.
He's in the action of trying to offload
He's
that.
trying to. Dave Allen's trying to clamp the ball. Josh Barlow's trying to pull off. Then there's another hand that goes on it.
Hit in the scrum.
Josh Barlow feels here.
It's still his responsibility to keep hold of that. He's tried to manoeuvre himself into a position where he can get an offload. So that's his responsibility to keep hold of that ball. Fair call.
So Swinton putting pressure on themselves. And here's Earl Hurst.
Hold. Go.
Can they make it tell? 6 points apiece before he plays the ball.
It's a physical game, Bill. Both teams are ripping in, getting stuck into each other.
3.
Mitchell plays the ball. Jonah Cunningham. Allen. Short pass from Dave Allen. Hadden. Pat Moran, I beg your pardon. There's Allen again, but Allen's pass is a stray one. Picked up, and then Earl Hurst puts the ball down. I think inching their way forward they were at Rochdale, but again, the knock on.
He's looking at Earl Hurst here. He's looking at Tyson coming in. You could see he was trying to catch the ball. Before he caught the ball, he's trying to step away from Tyson.
I want to see more from Danny Yates in that area of the field. I think he's the class angle, isn't he, in terms of the halves and the ball players in this Rochdale outfit. He's just not dominant enough for me at the moment. We know and we've seen before the skill set that he does possess. He needs to be a bit more assertive in terms of demanding that ball in those positions, because it's going to back rowers who are trying long spiralling passes and it's not coming off for them.
So after that early points flurry, a try apiece, these two have settled into a bit of a pattern, getting close and then not being able to capitalise. All the points coming in the first 8 minutes of the game so far. So it's 6 apiece, half an hour gone. Barlow, the kick drilled downfield. It's a good one, but coolly dealt with by Declan Kay.
Very, very well dealt with. And again, a penalty is an offside. But listen, let's not detract from what Declan Kay has been able to do with the ball there. He's had to juggle to get hold of it. There's an offside call for the kick chase, but it's worth having a look at Dec Kay and his ability there just to keep hold of that ball. Fantastic stuff. One-handed pick-up, juggle, step, and he's on his way.
So he's Setariki Telatoka. Matt Callan's former Halifax coach discovered him at Hotwood College. Brought him into the system at Halifax. There's another error.
Let's step out from Jonah Cunningham. When he gets out, you've got to work hard at marker. It's not, when you go to marker, you're not just resting, you've got to chase from the inside, put pressure on the man who's passing the ball. Like Jonah Cunningham then. But you've also got to put pressure on the man who's at first receiver. That's good play. When you look at Swinton and what they've done in this game, they've only missed 7 tackles. They've been very strong in collision, working very hard after contact, taking the man to ground.
The players just taking their time in this heat. Probably the hottest it has been for this summer bash experience. The wind was quite brisk yesterday, but it's a warm wind. There's Josh Barlow, who's a piratical figure in this Swinton side. You expect him to have an eye patch and a cutlass. And another knock on. He's played his rugby league from Ovenden to Illawarra. Quite an exotic career. But nothing exotic about this game so far.
No. Well, a mistake. He won't be happy with his teammates here. It's a good field position and 40 metres from Rochdale's line. Turn the ball over quite cheaply early in the tackle count.
So head and feed it will be to Rochdale.
Let's go, boys.
On
Head
their
in.
own 40-metre line.
Out.
The side 11th in the table, who had lost 7 in a row, but managed to beat Dewsbury 3 weeks ago.
Hold. Go.
Which boosted their chances of avoiding the bottom 2. They have lost the last 2, though, to both of them to Batley. Back to Batley. They're in possession with Dave Allen now.
Looking to shift the ball early, get away from the ruck from Swinton, who've been defending strongly. And you can see them working very hard. Jack Hansen not switching off, working hard, the young halfback.
Haddon plays the ball, and Moran it is. And Yates dinks a little kick forward. Masson will chase. Oh, couldn't quite get a hold of that.
Rob Massam offside.
And there's an offside.
Yeah, Rob Massam it is. The big, powerful left winger. It's a good kick in, and John Wells was saying about that he wants Danny Yates to step up and take control in these areas. That's a decent kick, that. Is that what more that you're after?
It's a better constructed set, isn't it? You could see in the play before, he ran a support line on the forward, nice little ball back on the inside, then got himself in position for the kick, and they need to be doing this more often, but they can't guard against this. Great offload and half break.
It was Barlow's offload. And now Swinton, having been under pressure, look to break. Thornley, Andy Thornley, quick play the ball. And Rochdale backtracking towards their own try line. Hayden Hansen directing operations, the Australian. This is looking promising for them. The cut back infield with Tyson. Has he got that down, George Tyson? He has, says the referee. And George Tyson gets the second try of the game for Stuart Littler's side. And this time there were no errors in the build-up. And it all started with Josh Barlow's bulldozing run and offload.
Well, he certainly gives you some impact, doesn't he? 3 players around him, he still manages to get his hands free and offloads that ball. And I think when you look at this Swinton side, they've got some clever hookers in Waterworth and Hanson. The delivery from that pass there, straight to Woods at the line, pulling people out and putting them in vulnerable positions, and then the run from George Tyson. Steps off his left foot, and you can see the size of him playing on an edge. When he goes back where the action is, it's very difficult to stop if you're flat-footed.
7th try of the season for George Tyson, the former Salford player. And coming just before the half-time hooter sounds, Chris Hankinson will try and improve the situation for the Swinton side, whose supporters at the other end of the ground find their voices. Hankinson converts, and Swinton edge their way in front. 12 points to 6, half-time approaching.
Yeah, well finished by George Tyson. Has made amends for a couple of mistakes earlier on in the game, but you pay homage to Gabriel Fell, who provided him with some really quick hands in the build-up to that try. There's excellent interplay between Woods in the half-back position and Gabriel Fell coming in from full-back. Lovely soft hands, and gave Tyson an early run at that line.
Restart, this time Swinton deal with it.
Move!
So far.
Hold.
Thornley plays the ball on his 10-metre line.
2. Move!
Bloomfield Road pitch, holding up well to the hammering it's taken over this weekend. Still plenty of grass on it. Rodri Lloyd now on his 8th club in a pretty nomadic career. He's still only 24 years of age. Here is Josh Barlow. Just up to the halfway line, plays the ball. Swinton ending this first half looking very lively. Got a second win. Hayden Hansen plays the ball, and the kick ricochets off Yates and into touch. And it'll be the turnover.
Well, you can see it's not played out, and then it goes straight out the field of play, so it's just going to be played up in the field. Just 10 metres in. Yates, well, he certainly stepped up. That's a poor pass.
Well, nobody was alert to that one in Rochdale colours, and they were lucky that Lee Mitchell got a hold of it before Swinton could capitalise.
Well, while you're out on the field, you've got to know what your job is and what your role is within the side. The pass goes out, and it's a poor pass and poor mistake really from this Rochdale side.
They'll try and do better this set. Here's Setatala. Yates pops that ball up. Dion Cross. Once in St Helens Academy, Dion Cross. Pat Moran. Experienced Challenge Cup action with Warrington Wolves this season. Pat Moran did in their big win against the Bradford Bulls in the 5th round. The kick is hoisted, but dealt with by Mike Butt.
We're just quite content, Rob Masson, then just to let Butt catch the ball. Didn't want to give a penalty away. Just over a minute to go before half-time, and both sides have really shown glimpses of what they can do. And the team that goes on to win this game will be the most disciplined with the ball, and also disciplined not giving penalties away.
Tala could have been penalised there. Just left his foot in to play the ball. Swinton, gradual progress upfield, and they'll be happy with that. Half-time approaching. They've gone for 1 point. Way off target from Josh Woods. Looking to get something before the half-time hooter sounds. Almost got a goal line dropout. The chase had been alert. Lapori will try and counter.
He tries to get back upfield, but good defence. Again, you can see the likes of Hurst coming in field, helping his forwards out. They've really had to slug it out.
Here's Massam now.
He's been impressive, him, Bill.
Hooter sounds. And a kick drilled downfield in the end by Tyler Whitaker is the final act of the first half. Stuart Littler, the happier of the two coaches, but Alan Kilshaw's men, well, stony-faced Rochdale coach after that first half. I'm sure too many errors for both coaches' liking, but in terms of chances taken, well, it's Swinton who've done the best in that respect. They are bottom of the table. They are without a win in this Betfred Championship season so far. How precious a victory would be here at Blackpool for them. They lead at half-time, but they have still got some work to do if they are to claim that first win of the season.
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
And now available on Google Play. William Hill. This is more.
I know a place and they take you there.
What if you could book your flight, hotel, activities and car rental all in one place? Expedia are the travel experts who give you the world in your hands.
We've got everywhere to go.
So you can see more of it. Expedia. Everything you need, all in one place. Atoll protected.
Get on. Simple low. Manigadeth Kelly's honeycomb crunch and Guala Blaz. Totally kooky us.
Rag over, if you want to draw the dead, although Kelly's clotted cream will blaz unbeatable.
Rag and Nick, Reza Revolt's chocolate brownie salted caramel, and Fleckus in Henwell.
Absolutely banging!
Kelly's, Cornish for ice cream.
Did you get into my makeup?
Yes.
Just a little bit?
Oof.
Show me.
Imagine if that was our Daisy.
You know what? She is a bit quiet.
Alexa, show me the kids' room camera. Oh, look at her, isn't she cute?
Oh, great. You can have her tomorrow, then.
All right, I'll take her to the cup final with the lads.
Good luck with that.
Be fine.
You reckon?
Yeah.
This half-term, Sky Cinema is bursting with characters. The dedicated animation channel is packed with everyone you love.
Yeah, baby.
To enjoy with the whole family.
Not now, Mom!
Or you can watch on demand when everyone's ready. All the fun you need this half-term. All in Sky Cinema Animation.
It's winner takes all in the battle for promotion. The Sky Bet Playoff Final. Part of an unmissable weekend live on Sky Sports.
You've got to grind the team down.
A trio of rugby league superstars have retired from origin duty for Queensland. Can New South Wales capitalise? Find out on Sky Sports Arena throughout the months of June and July. Game 1 from the MCG in Melbourne is June 6th. June 24th, Game 2, and it all concludes on Wednesday, June 11th for Game 3. Well, Swinton are halfway to their first win since September. They lead the Rochdale Hornets 12-6, the halfway mark of Game 2 on Day 2 of the Summer Bash for the Betfred Championship. And early pressure and points by McDermott went the way of the bottom of the table Lions.
Well, both teams have come to play And you can see the commitment from both sides. Early on, Josh Woods thinks he's over the try line. Magnificent tackle from Declan Kay. Can't put that ball down. But only a matter of minutes later, that's a outstanding tackle. But probably stood up, admired his work. He's too tall at marker. And Luke Waterworth, the former Wigan Academy, gets that try. Knock on from the kick-off. Beautiful hands. There's a succession of catch and pass. And a good try in the corner for Richard Lepori.
Ties it up at 6 points apiece, John.
Yeah, great wide pass from Waterworth as well. Woods to Fell, who provided a great early ball for Tyson to roll back on the inside. Mixed first half as Tyson, but he's finished that really well. That re-established the 6 point lead. Josh Woods has had an excellent first 40 minutes, I feel. He's looked really accomplished in the halves position. You can't say the same about Danny Yates, we were talking about in pre-game, and what a skill set he does have. He really needs to grab this game by the scruff of the neck now, because they're looking a little directionless at times in attack of Rochdale.
Some of you can both sides. So Rochdale directionless in attack. Have Swinton maybe missed an opportunity in that first 40 minutes where they looked the more dominant of the sides for large parts of that first half, yet just have a 6 point lead on the scoreboard?
It looks like both teams have come to play. They're throwing the ball around, the forcing passes, really. You can probably see why they are where they are in terms of the league and the league ladder. They both scored the same amount of points, but it's the defence that have let Swinton down. They have a vastly inferior points against number. So Danny Yates, I agree 100%, but I also think if Danny Yates gets that platform, because one or two of the forwards have done some good stuff in isolation, but nobody has matched Josh Barlow's aggression and his impact on the game.
Alan Kilshaw, will the message at half-time, we'll hear from Angela no doubt when the second half kicks off, will the message from Alan Kilshaw say, it's not our greatest first half, we are very much in this match against the side who have been better for large parts? Yeah, that part he mightn't say.
They just need to establish a foothold in this game now, because it's in danger of unravelling for them. They put together a couple of half-decent sets, and they've already shown they've got the skill in attack to execute. You look at the build-up to the Lepori try. I think Dec Kay's had an excellent first 40 minutes, and he provided that the exquisite little flick pass that ended up with Lepori finishing. So they have got the skills. The thing is, they're not getting themselves or allowing themselves to be put into those sorts of attacking positions often enough.
How do Stuart Littler and the Swinton Lions ensure that Rochdale don't get a foothold in this game? What must they do that they did well in the first half and maybe improve on in the second half?
Maintain that enthusiasm. That's what Stuart Littler was known for as a player. His side has had enthusiasm, over enthusiastic sometimes. I think that's why his team has forced mistakes and made those errors. But for Stuart Littler and his side, it's a gilt-edged opportunity for 2 points and a valuable win.
We rewind 40 minutes approximately. You both went for a Rochdale victory. I'll tell you what, because it's the Summer Bash, you can either stick or twist.
Twist, please.
I'm going to stick.
Stick with Rochdale.
Cornets all the way.
Twist to Swinton.
I'm going to twist it to look so much more comfortable. They do. And as much as we said that there's a way back for Rochdale, I think Swinton look the more comfortable of the two teams.
He has jumped horses.
Shocking, isn't it? Shocking, I know.
John Wells thinks that Swinton will get their first win since last September, their first win in League and Cup action in 2018. Just 2 draws to their name, but they have a 6 point lead at half-time. What have the Rochdale Hornets got in reply? Bill Arthur and the boys standing by to take you through the second half of Game 2 from Day 2.
When you have the right technologies, you will always find a way. The award-winning Micra, the tech-advanced small car by Nissan. The Nissan Micra Acenta is now available from £149 per month at 0% APR representative. Search Nissan Micra or visit your local dealer to find out more.
More bad news as UK's financial future looks uncertain. News, more bad news.
Let us naysay the naysayers and slap the kisser of uncertainty. I was watching that. Fine. Let us not dwell on the past. Let us stride into the future. Let us step with the skip across the financial tightrope. And he's really going. Taxi!
Bye.
Let us connect our money and see the bigger picture. Let us own the unknown. Sun's bright.
Golf is a mental game.
To be focused, you have to be comfortable. So we wear Skechers Go Golf shoes.
They're the most comfortable golf shoes we've ever worn.
Skechers Go Golf.
No one wants to find their boiler on the blink. We're with you. Boiler IQ lets us keep an eye on your boiler, so you don't have to worry. When you're with British
Crucial series as England look to bounce back in South Africa. Live on Sky Sports.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
It's Challenge Cup weekend coming up, and we have two of the quarterfinals to look forward to here on Sky Sports. Two form sides going head-to-head on Thursday night as Huddersfield Giants take on the Catalan Dragons. 7:30 Sky Sports Arena. Simon Wolford's first game in full charge of the Giants. And on Friday, two sides looking to bounce back after defeats this weekend. The Leeds Rhinos and the Leeds Centurions in their quarter-final. 7:30 Sky Sports Arena for that. And at half-time in game two on day two of the Summer Bash, Swinton Lions lead the Rochdale Hornets by 12 points to 6. A busy weekend, a good weekend, a fun weekend, lots to see and do around Blackpool, including the man van, which has been parked outside Bloomfield Road. And well done to Rugby League Cares, who formed a partnership with Movember. I know it's only May, but Movember not far away. The big fundraising cause for testicular cancer and for prostate cancer. And the man van has been outside, and so has Barber B. Brian Soiree, the barber from Leeds. Thank you for my trim, Brian. And I'm told that Jordan Baldwinson and Josh Walters are learning the trade courtesy of Barber B. Interesting guy, great concept, and they've been outside the grounds all weekend. Second half coming up. Jonah Cunningham, part of a Rochdale side looking to turn things around. There's Dad Kieran up in the stands. Tough day for the Leeds Centurions club yesterday at the hands of Toronto in that big feisty game. Bit of a feisty second half on here because this is a big game. It's the bottom two. Swinton without a win so far this season, looking to keep alive their hopes of avoiding the drop, and they need the win. Rochdale, they're not safe either. A win for them, that would improve their chances. So big second half for these two sides coming up. Rochdale have the ball first in this second half in their red, white and blue stripes, hoops.
Desperate sides.
And here's Lee Mitchell.
Desperate sides, Bill, looking for valuable points. Obviously, they're not going to be fighting out at the top for the top four, but they do want to finish as far up the table as they can, and with the skill that they've shown from both sides in first half, there's certainly good signs.
Matty Haddon gets that pass away, but then the ball goes behind, and it's a stray pass, and Dion Cross will run it back.
Move!
Lost a bit of momentum. That's the fifth tackle. So the kick is straight out, and that's disappointing after the build-up to that. Not too bad, and then to finish with that.
It's what's let them down for the entire first half, isn't it? Just like the execution in the back end of the sets, and you would imagine it would have been high on the agenda in that half-time team talk, and then to come out and deliver that in your first set, it's understandable why Alan Kilshaw is looking so animated at the moment.
Well, we can maybe get more on that. Let's go down to the sidelines and Angela.
Well, he was animated at half-time as well. He said he gave his players a bit of a spray in the porter cabin, the very hot porter cabin, I must say, at the back of the stand. He said they're letting Swinton off the hook with their end-of-set decisions far too much, and that's when they actually get to the end of their sets. They are matching Swinton somewhere, though, and that's error for error, and that has to be improved. They've got to be far more clinical. Stuart Littler is the happier of the coaches, the Swinton coach, but equally disappointed with his side's inability to get to the end of sets too many times. Their kicking game's been off too. 6 ends of sets kicks out of 11. It's just not good enough, he says. But they're ahead on the scoreboard. That's a big plus. Get the processes right, and they're in with a chance.
Well, they're in with a chance here as Swinton, as Andy Thornley edges towards that Rochdale line. Swinton looking to capitalise on that Rochdale error. Here is Josh Barlow. Barlow, lovely offload, and Will Hope gets in for the first try of the second half. The Irish international. Well, it was the Scottish international and the Irish international combining there, because Sam Barlow with the pass, Will Hope with the finish, and right under those Swinton supporters at that end of the ground, they get the first try of the second half, and Stuart Littler, a little flicker of happiness on his stony face there.
Well, 2 offloads in this game, and they both come from Josh Barlow. He's a good player. He's got good late footwork at the line, pulled in a couple of defenders, and you know that the honesty that you need around anyone who can offload a ball, you need to make sure that you push up, and Will Hope pushes up with Barlow. Perfect. Setatala falls for it, jams in, hips it the wrong way. He's beat, and that's a great offload.
And Rochdale paying a heavy price for that kick that went out on the full.
Yeah, you're right. And again, we revisit the same things we were talking about for the entire first half. So Danny Yates needs to grab hold of this game somehow. The game is going to pass them by. Not done nearly enough in attack.
Hankinson on target again with that conversion attempt, and Swinton early in the second half strike what could be a telling blow.
Yeah, this is no way to end a set, is it? The kick out in the full. Yes, we know there's a wind swirling around here, but that's not the sort of kick that you would expect. And then Setatala, well, he was a little naive in defence. It was a great offload, wasn't it, on the back of his hand.
Well, that won't impress Alan Kilshaw, watching from on high, his son Auckland alongside him, 8 years of age, and Dad's not in a good mood at the moment, because it hasn't been a good start to the second half for his side.
No, this is a poor real error from Tyler Whittaker. He should have dealt with things better in the set, in the build-up to that try, but they've just got to get back in the fight and just start trading sets with their opponents.
Kick comes in, looking for a 40-20, but and there's a foot in touch, and Declan Kay thought he'd managed to get that one back into the field, but the touch judge, the eagle-eyed touch judge on that side.
Well, again, Bill, it's Josh Woods. He's an old head on young shoulders, isn't he? Kicks that ball.
He's let go of the ball.
Well, the touch judge straight away, he's put his flag up.
By that point, he's let go of the ball.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was after he'd let the ball go. And a real chance now for Swinton to put their foot on the throat of this Rochdale Hornets team, although they have been extremely unlucky there, Bill.
Yeah, that's a harsh call. And Josh Barlow rumbling towards that Rochdale line once again. Can Swinton capitalise? Hayden Hansen fires the ball up. They're looking for another try here. This time it's good defence. Rodri Lloyd is held just on the line, trying to poach one, claiming one. And it's George Tyson who's looking at the referee to say, I got that down.
Well, he's certainly confident, isn't he, when he goes over, picks the ball up, Stays nice and low so the defenders from Rochdale can't get underneath him. The referee just sent it upstairs just to see, does he actually get over the try line? He rocks a couple of the Rochdale players backwards. They can't get underneath the ball. It's Whittaker that gets bounced off. Hurst comes in. Does he get the ball down? Said before in the first half, he's powerful. Certainly committed in his runs. This one might be a better shot.
That ball looks as though it's short.
I think he's pushed back, isn't he? I think he's pushed back. You can see Tyler Whittaker turn around to the ref saying he's short, he's not got it over the line.
There's hands underneath that as well. Earl Hurst hands are underneath.
Well, he keeps hold of it, John. There's no knock on, but I actually don't think he gets over the line.
No, he's pushed back, isn't he?
Oh, it's a big effort from Hurst, isn't it? So when he picks that ball up, Tyson, he bumps Whittaker out the way. He goes backwards. Hurst comes in. It's the extra effort from Hurst.
Phil Bentham is the video ref, though. He's got the call. Has George Tyson got his second of the game? He has. Oh, that's rubbing salt in Rochdale's wounds, that is, because the kick they thought they'd dealt with Declan Kay, the judge still put a foot in touch. It looked as though he didn't actually have the ball in his possession, and then George Tyson is adjudged to have got that ball down.
Well, there's Kay, you can see, and you called it, Bill. He throws the ball back in the field of play. They get the ball, and obviously Tyson here, and he goes nice and low. I didn't think he got over the try line, but Swinton had a couple of calls that have gone for him now with that kick, with this try. And what Rochdale need to do now is make sure that they keep the composure and play out the sets. Don't let the last couple of sets really worry them, otherwise it could be a score against them.
So Hankinson, can he maintain his 100% record? He can. Oh, that's painful for Rochdale. It's jubilation for Swinton because they lead 24 points to 6. George Tyson bagging a brace for the second week running. Alan Kilshaw, well, he was pretty impressed at the start of the second half. I don't think that particular sequence of events will do his humour any good.
No, really disappointed. That's what I'm saying when you're at the bottom of the table, as things go against you, like both of these sides will have had patches and periods in games where they get rocked back, and it's not been the best of starts in this second half for Rochdale. But what they've got to do now is not worry about it, not focus on and dwell on those mistakes, and just get back into this game.
And Swinton full of confidence now, bottom of the table, yet to experience that winning feeling this season. They've got 2 draws to their name, and that's it. Here's Liam Paisley playing the ball, and they really are running with more confidence and vigour now, this Swinton side. Kick hoisted. Lapori underneath it and hounded down by the chasing Swinton players.
Well, he had no chance, did he then, Lapori? And it's that man who's grown another foot since scoring that try. Look at the space that Wood's got. He drops the ball down on Lapori's head, just a half a metre from the line, and George Tyson, he's got faith in his half-back. He knows that if he stays onside, does all the little things well, that they'll get rewarded, and this is the reward.
They've got their sets up around 80% as well of Swinton, which is a huge difference when your opposition aren't completing well and not putting a lot of pressure on. For you to do that, I think you double down on the errors that the opposition are making.
Rodri Lloyd, little step, and then he goes into the middle of the field. It's all Swinton so far in this second half. 8.5 minutes gone. They've scored a couple of tries, and they're in danger from the Rochdale point of view of taking control of this game. Hankinson tackled just short of that try line. Here's Will Hope, one of the second half try scorers. Looks at the referee. Again, coming to this side. Fell, the fullback, and Fell is held up.
Good defence from Whittaker. A little show and go from Gabriel Fell. tries to get rid of him, tries to bump him off, and helped by the captain Lee Mitchell. A good defence, Whittaker.
So they'll take the ball back. Fifth tackle play, the ball on the 10-metre line. The kick is hoisted to the corner, and Lepori has Rob Massam. Oh, and Massam's picked up a knock there. Grimace on his face, but he's able to restart. 30 years of age, Rob Massam, a Welsh international with a great try-scoring record, but hasn't had an opportunity to show his pace and strength so far this afternoon.
All the time he's been showing his pace and strength. He's been down there at his own try line.
Joe Tyra plays the ball. Rochdale would just like to complete a set and get to the kick and maybe put a little bit of pressure on this Swinton side, who are walking tall at the moment. Here's Earl Hurst, weaving run from Earl Hurst. Hurst still going. It's good work from him. That's got them going forward now. Tyler Whittaker. They're in the shadows of those posts. Brickhill it was. Yates. Kay. Oh, lovely ball, and it was a great ball, but Cross couldn't take it.
Oh,
Cross holds his head.
It opened up, Bill. Absolutely opened up. The defender, Hankinson, got it wrong. Cross was through the line. I don't know what he's thinking. When he looks up, then he notices that Fell's not in position. All they had to do was catch it, get over the line. It's a certain try.
That'll be heartening, though, for Alan Killshaw, because they looked organised throughout that. It was a great run from Earl Hurst. He broke the tackle of George Tyson, scooted back in the middle, and all of a sudden looked like to have a little bit of direction, like to see Deck Kay out the back, and unfortunately Dion Cross just couldn't hold on to it. But there's reasons for optimism there, isn't there?
The two old stagers, Mitchell and Allen, doing the defending there. Dave Allen in once more.
He's made a difference, the man playing the ball, Josh Barlow.
Deep kick, which Rob Massam picks up now then. A chance for him to straighten it up.
He comes across the defensive lines looking for someone who's a bit of a leg tackler or a smaller man. Wasn't that a good shot and a good effort in defence from Hanson?
Lee Mitchell almost up to the halfway line for Rochdale. They're having a good spell here. Dion Cross could have got his 4th try of the season if he'd held on to that pass just a moment ago. Yates shows the ball, takes them on, wrapped up, gets the pass away. And this is a good run by Tyler Whittaker. Whittaker just short.
Brilliant try-saving tackle from George Tyson. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to delay the inevitable?
Yates, little grubber kick comes in, and it's fielded, and they counter quickly. It's a great run and a great chase as well. What a comeback that was by Lepori.
Great effort.
Paisley almost got there. Oh, and then almost an intercept, and they will get in. They do get in, and it's Josh Woods eventually who crosses. And that is harsh. After Liam Paisley's breakaway, Lepori managed to get back and make the tackle. They almost got the interception, but then Josh Woods was able to finish off.
Well, there's a couple of Wigan players with a lot of future in Josh Woods and Liam Paisley, and you think that Whittaker's going to get there at one end, and all of a sudden it's end to end. Look at this for a pick-up from the back rower. From up in Dalton in Cumbria, he shows his power, shows his strength here and his speed.
Yeah, great pullback from Richard Lepori, but then it's just a scattered Rochdale defence, and you can understand why they would go for the intercept from Deck Kay, but it just fell into the hands of Josh Woods, and you feel now that this may well be game, set and match to Swinton. You know, the first bit of flair that was shown by Tyler Whittaker, who pinned his ears back and went for the try line, led to, I think, the tackle of the game from George Tyson to deny the try. And then 25 seconds later, we're talking about a try scorer at the other end of the field. That was Paisley. As you try scorer Woods.
And a Wigan Academy combination there, Liam Paisley and Josh Woods, the same background in terms of their rugby league development. Woods actually has broken into the first team at the Warriors, former Lee East player. And Hankinson hasn't missed yet, still not going to see those flags waving it away. They salute another successful conversion. And you wouldn't know it, but Stuart Littler's team are on their way to the first win of the season.
And shouldn't he be as well, with efforts in defence like that? That was Tyson on Whittaker, scored 2 tries, saved 1. You can understand you go for the intercept, but then Josh Woods just picks up the pieces. And I think this is a game-winning position now, isn't it? They're looking very, very comfortable.
30 points to 6, they lead, their highest score of what's been a tough season so far for Swinton.
Hold here, hold, go.
Well, 18 points in this second half that they've scored and look comfortable. When you have time and space, the likes of what Josh Woods and Jack Hansen have had in this game, it's all off the back of real hard work, getting through the sets, getting to the kick, really taking the game to Rochdale in the middle of the field, and another strong carry and good meters after contact from Thornley.
Swinton haven't tasted that winning feeling since September the 10th last year when they beat Oldham in the Championship Shield. That's a long time to wait. But they're on their way now. Kick into the corner. He's out on the full. First blemish in this second half, and Woods, just a moment ago, celebrating, now furious.
Well, disappointed. He sets his standards high. Josh Woods. So he's a good player with a great future in the game, but disappointed with that effort. Good line speed from Hansen. So you don't, when you've looked at the Magic Week, the Blackpool Bash weekend, you saw some talents, and imagine that these two teams are at the bottom of the table.
Well, Swinton will stay bottom of the table, but if they were to win this and that ball's come loose and the referee will bring him back, Danny Yates will round it behind the post, but it ain't going to count.
Well, it's nice play though, isn't it, from Rochdale? When you're down on your luck, you don't want to just play 5 drives in a kick, and they're still looking to shift the ball wide. Still looking
to that.
Well, I was just going to say then that looked okay to me when they go through the line and they offload the ball. I didn't see that there was a knock-on or a forward pass here.
They're really not getting a break, are they? I think they're claiming that's actually
that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's an offload, it goes to the boot, it kicked forward, it's a try.
Yeah, they're not getting the breaks, are they? Rochdale.
Out!
Yates had reason to feel unhappy about that decision.
Move. Hold, Pat. Hold, go.
Knock on there. 1 game to go in the Summer Bash, and it's old rivals, the Batley Bulldogs and the Dewsbury Rams, and that's coming next on Sky Sports Arena. The fans coming into the ground now as we see that knock on.
Burgle, you can see that he gets the ball, it's an incorrect play, but goes forward, it's a mistake. Like you say about little things that you need to make sure you get right, and Dewsbury fans are in, ready for the last game of this Blackpool Bash.
Time back on.
Well, is this the break that Rochdale needed? Not lots gone their way in this second half.
Hold.
Declan Kay.
Hold. Go.
They're going down the short side.
Well, they had a 3-on-2 as well then.
Go.
Billsborough's pass.
3. And he moves.
3 tackles gone.
Hold. Go.
And Yates. Short pass finds Lee Mitchell, but Swinton's defenders are there to stop his progress.
Hold here. Go.
Here is Yates. Yates to Moran. And Moran is over. No, he's again driven back. That's good defence once more from Swinton.
Hold the line, hold the line.
Pat Moran close, going for it again, and once more, Swinton defending well.
That's pride in your defensive line, but what you would throw at Rochdale is that's dumb attack. Not good enough, really. You're up against the team that are in front by 24 points, that they're the team that's confident. You've got to throw more at them.
Billy Brickhill.
You felt on the fourth play as well that the option was out the back, wasn't it, to Deck K? That's where the numbers were, not the frontline runner. They're doing that too often now.
Well, Billy Brickhill was the last to go close. It was a
nice
trampling run
Tyson,
from George Tyson, and he's left his boot print on somebody.
Well, straight away he turns around and apologises, doesn't he?
Oh, Lewis Hatton felt that.
Well, Lewis Hatton, he goes down here. Then absolutely no malice in this here from Tyson. Oh, he just knocks him back. You could see there's like an overstride trying to get over him. Yeah. So the boot, like he stands on him, there is contact, but he's trying to stride over him. It wasn't a dirty play. And as soon as he knew that he'd made contact, he turned round straight away and apologised.
He was actually still carrying the ball, and you think he's going to apologise at the point at which he...
Well, look at this, here now. It's a long stride trying to get over the other side of him.
And he looks back at this point and he's saying sorry. He's actually apologising
what have I done?
As he's still walking.
I have always said this game is a gentleman's game.
Certain events this weekend might not bear that out. George Tyson, eventful game for him. 2 tries.
I do think that's when George Tyson gets that and he knows that
Matt Rossley, the referee's put it on reports.
And really just to check that, and he'll be checked tomorrow. And Hatton knew straight away, and when he accepted the apology as well from Tyson. No players come running in from either side, and that's normally a giveaway that there's nothing intended in that play.
He's just getting patched up. Here's Lewis Hatton, another of the Warringtonian contingent. Ex-Warrington, in his case.
Wait for the whistle, wait for the whistle.
And he's good to go.
Tackle 3.
His side, though, trailed by 30 points to 6. Close at half-time, but a disastrous start to the second half has really put Rochdale on the back foot. They haven't had a great deal of luck. They might do that now. No, they still don't, because they couldn't get hold of that loose ball, and the referee says it's 6 to go.
Well, Hatton was the first man to react. Man who'd just been split, gets on the ground, couldn't take the ball in, though. But again, it seems to be going for this Swinton side, who are now over the halfway into the 40-metre area.
Hold. Go.
You can see, hands in, ball goes backwards to Hansen.
Oh, another big shot from Tyra.
2. Move!
Swinton moving forwards again. Ben Austin plays the ball. Here is Rodri Lloyd, and Lloyd has lost possession. A good one-on-one steal, and then they've got it back.
0.
We'll play on here now, Bill. Neither side could take control of that ball then.
Josh Woods it was who ended up with it. Tyson looking for a hat-trick. Just short of the try line. Swinton looking for more points. Woods. Andy Thornley. Thornley does well to hold on to it there under big pressure. Woods. Jack Hansen. Hansen, lovely pass, lovely try from this Rochdale Swinton side. Liam Paisley it is with the try. But what another cracking pass that was to put 20-year-old Liam Paisley in for his 3rd try of the season. And once again, Swinton making the most of a bounce of the ball. You've got to be there to capitalise on situations like that.
Yeah, well, Whittaker strips the ball from Lloyd, then the effort from Tyson. He loses the ball, then all of a sudden Josh Woods gets it back. The referee calls that play on. And the ball here from Hansen. Look at that, Jack Hansen to Liam Paisley. Liam Paisley was the man who come up with that effort to run 90 metres, but Jack Hansen, his dad Lee Hansen, former Lee Widnes and Wigan player, will be proud of his son's efforts in the game and to get that pass away to that man Paisley.
Yep, they'll be cheering that in Dalton-in-Furness as one of the former Dalton amateurs, Liam Paisley, an England Academy international, scores that try. And his first tries, other than those he got against hometown club Barrow Raiders. And Chris Hankinson, 5 from 5 for Swinton's goal kicker. And on target again, as are Swinton, on target for their first win of the season. Alan Kilshaw's side. It obviously takes a lot to impress Stuart Littler as well. But he must be really proud with the way his side have performed in this second half.
Does he know his team are actually winning? Doesn't look happy, does he, Stuart Littler? Short kick-off here from Rochdale.
And they will get the ball back. They're going to have to go some in the last quarter of the game now to try and turn this situation around. It's been a great second half performance from this Swinton side. You would not believe that they are bottom of the table, propping it all up.
I think that's the most surprising aspect of it all, isn't it, Bill? They look accomplished. There's been relatively low error rate. They look like they know what they're doing in attack. Some athletic stuff on display as well, and some great finishing, as we've just seen. The assist from Hansen there for the Paisley try was outstanding.
Declan Kay plays the ball, so Hatton, with his cut on his forehead strapped now, takes it closer. Jonah Cunningham on the last, and that'll be the turnover.
Well, he thought he'd spotted something, young Jonah Cunningham, but the defence from Swinton was good. And you're right, you look at this Swinton side, not won in the last 5 games, couple of big losses against Toronto and Toulouse, where they conceded 62 points in both, but competed against Halifax and Sheffield and just 1 scored in it. So realistically, they have been giving it a go, but apart from a couple of blowouts, they've been competing, and they get a penalty as well now.
Danny Yates, the culprit. And that will relieve the pressure on Swinton, and they haven't been able to put pressure on Swinton in this second half, right from the word go, really.
They've not been near enough to Swinton's line. And when they've got up there, maybe the executions let them down. A couple of big calls needed from some of the key men that haven't really took control. Whereas you look at the Swinton side, I think that the halves have really led them well in Josh Woods and Hansen.
Do you know what, though, if you're picking a man of the match for this one, I like George Tyson. I think he's had a couple of issues early on, but his enthusiasm, what he's brought to the game, 2 tries, that amazing try-saving tackle, when the game was still a live prospect for Rochdale. I think he epitomised everything that they've done well this evening.
Last year, Rochdale were winners on this ground. They beat Oldham at the Summer Bash. Swinton went down to Sheffield. Different story this time round by the look of things. There is Tyson. Felt that.
There's a good relationship as well with Gabriel Fell, John. The timing that they have together, the way that Fell holds the ball up to get in that extra bit of space, and obviously you can see how strong he is.
Bill Hurst uprooting George Tyson.
It's a great attribute to having a player, just a refusal, and just a dead set refusal to be put down. And that's underpinned his performance today, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of him this season, but I dare say that's the way he takes the field every single time.
Well,
very much built in the image of his coach as well. I remember Stuart Littler being very much that sort of player, very aggressive, very determined. You get the same in George Tyson.
Well, his coach has tasted victory on this pitch as a member of the Lee side when they beat Halifax in the 2011 Northern Rail final. Back here, and puff of the cheeks, knows they're not home and dry yet. That's another incident on report. So that's the second in this game that's gone on report. And ironically, the first was Tyson's boot, which caused an injury to Lewis Hatton. That went on report, and now Tyson on the receiving end, and that's on report.
I think that'll be okay. That when that gets looked at, the referee saying that it ended up a dangerous tackle. I don't think it was a dangerous tackle. It was a full-blooded tackle, and that's because the strength that Tyson was showing and his willingness not to go down to the ground, and he's challenging you as a defender to take him to ground, and he wouldn't give up his legs. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, now then, Chris Hankinson, you haven't missed all afternoon. 6 from 6, as you can see. What can you make of this one?
7 from 7, but
I think
Looks
I'd
like
back
it.
him.
Conditions,
I'd
I'd back him, yeah. Wind may be a factor, although it does seem to have just eased a little bit.
So if all three of us are backing him, that means he could miss it.
You think also about what it's doing to the points difference. There was around 40 points difference between Swinton and Rochdale. Swinton having the poorer points difference. Well, they're going a long way to erasing that today.
Hankinson then, bang on target once again. Oh, ye of little faith. No, we had faith.
We all said he was going to kick it.
Yeah. And Swinton, 38 points to 6 ahead.
Been a big second half for them, hasn't it?
12-6 it was when they came out for the resumption.
So 26 points in the second half without reply.
And you go back to the points difference argument. Leading into today's game, Swinton's net points difference was 39 points poorer than that of Rochdale. And well, they've covered 32 of those already.
And they've dealt with the restart well. The ball batted back, and they're all on the same page there. And it's been okay. They might have had a couple of breaks when the ball and the decisions went their way, but it's not been about that.
No, it's not. The percentages that they've played with, and they've played to the strengths as well. I think Fell's been good. Waterworth's now back on the field. He's been good from dummy half. See the width that they play with. That is the sign of a confident side.
Rodri Lloyd. That's the fifth tackle as he's dumped. And then the kick is a good one up the line. Josh Woods again. Impressive game from the 20-year-old.
The game management from him. Kicks it straight into the ground. Targets that touch line just to let the clock tick down. He's a big, tall, athletic man, isn't he? As I say, a couple more years and we'll be seeing and talking about him in Super League regularly.
Not as tall as Toulouse's Jonathan Ford, who looks as though he should be playing basketball, but some players we've seen already this afternoon.
Skillful player, wasn't he?
Well, two very good number 6s as well. Probably the unusual body shape as much as anything, but boy, they make the most of their assets, don't they? Both Jonathan Ford and young Josh Woods, as you said, have had outstanding games today.
What did you look at me for when you said unusual body shapes?
They're the first 3 words that came out of my mouth.
Why are you so sensitive about it?
I've been like that since I was 2.
Well, here comes Rochdale. Can they finish with some sort of flourish here? No, Earl Hurst trying to get that ball back on the inside to Lapori, but couldn't connect.
Yeah, and significantly, but significantly not played at as well by Ilias Bergel. He's just going for the tackle. He's not attempting to play the ball, but it just catches his hip on the way into touch. So this will be Swinton who'll take the restart.
You would like to see him finish with something, wouldn't you? So the second half, they've been absolutely blown away. A couple of calls have gone against them, but they've not complained to the referee.
You do tend to get what you deserve in this game, don't you? I think Danny Ward came out and said as much after their defeat to Toulouse, and you look at Rochdale and go, what do they deserve from this game? And that is nothing.
Hayden Hansen plays the ball, the young Australian in the Swinton side, once the Redcliffe Dolphins. Mike Butts, Luke Waterworth, and now Braychek. Braychek, Hansen, Rodri Lloyd, lanky running Welsh international Lloyd. Coming up to the last 10 minutes, Swinton Lions really in control of this game. Waterworth, and again the kicks drilled into touch. Woods, sensible.
A little bit loose in that set of 6 around the Rochdale, which made it easier for them to get over the advantage line, get through the line, and then makes it easier for the man who's kicking the ball, because if you're not winning collision, you're not having that dominant wrestle, taking the man to the floor. Alan Kilshaw knows that his side turned up, they really competed in that first half, but the second half been absolutely blown away.
Lepori now. Joe Tyra gets the pass away.
Was looking for an offload as well then, Kay.
They get the penalty. Kay was impeded as he tried to get the ball. It was the ubiquitous Josh Woods.
Well, good work and energy. Tyra first of all with the offload. Kay's pushing up. You've got to know your strengths of your teammates and who's going to carry the ball, what he's going to do after contact. Let's see what they've got here in the final 10 minutes.
Is Lee Mitchell now. Just inside Swinton's 20 as he plays the ball. Yates across the field. Dion Cross back to Kay, and Kay, little burst of acceleration from him. Yates gets the ball, but he gets Braychek as well. Held calls the referee. Dave Allen. Allen offloads. Good defence from Swinton. Great defence. Jonah Cunningham all wrapped up. Once more, Whitaker gets the pass away to Yates. Yates. They're hammering at the door. Jordan Syme it was. Here's Yates. Change of direction from him. Dave Allen. Can Allen get it down? I think he can. Not to the satisfaction of referee Matt Rossley anyway.
He's got this down, Bill. There's no problem with this. Shows that they're still playing to the final whistle. They've still not given up. Dave Allen, the power to get over Fell does ever so well to get his hand underneath the ball, and you can see the effort from Dave Allen trying to get it down. Has Fell done just enough? He rides the tackle. You can see that he's just trying to catch Dave Allen. Instead of trying to have that wrestle above the ground, he's just quite willing to take him to ground and do a big effort. Do you know what? I think he's not got the ball down here.
I think it's an excellent try-saving tackle from Gabriel Fell. Got the ball underneath, there's no ground in there. And the hand is underneath there as well. I think that's an excellent tackle. What an excellent tackle.
You know, when you're up against someone who's bigger and stronger and more senior than you come up with a tackle like that, that's an effort.
Well, that sums up this Swinton second half performance. Alan Kilshaw mystified by that. Dave Allen denied.
I think that's what they call a wry smile, isn't it, that one, Bill? I think there's probably a realisation there. He's been done. Yeah, it's excellent defence from Gabriel Fell.
His dad was a good fullback as well, stroke standoff. He played at Salford. He was quality player, David Fell.
Well, he would have been proud of that defensive effort from 22-year-old Gabe Fell as the kick. And Bergal couldn't deal with that.
Thought at first, Bill, there was too much weight on it.
Lepori very nearly capitalised.
Well, Whitaker, when he kicks this ball, no, it's a good kick. Bergal caught in two minds then. He makes a play for it. He wasn't really committed to catching that ball, probably concerned with what was coming behind him from Lepori.
All six backs on the open side of the field now. Bergal has not followed Lepori over.
Well, Rochdale at least looking to end this on a positive note, and they've got all the numbers they need on that side of the field, but Swinton managed to stop Lepori, who fell that.
Good defence from Liam Paisley, wasn't it?
Now back into the middle of the field with Lewis Hatton. Hatton wrestles himself clear of the challenge. Jonah Cunningham's pass. Yates, again, good defence. Yates going for it. I think this one has been grounded by Jonah Cunningham. Jonah Cunningham gets the try. And that was a chip off the old block. Gets his first of the season in front of his dad. Take a bit more than that to impress him.
You could imagine him doing that in the back garden with his dad from 3 years of age. And his dad coming up with players like this. You can see the power that he's got. Stays nice and low, gets at Felt, knocks him back. Gabriel Felt trying to do exactly the same as what he did not so long ago against Dave Allen. But the power of the youngster just gets over the try line. And you know what? Good on Rochdale for not giving up, and that young man, Jonah Cunningham.
20 years of age, Jonah Cunningham. Tyler Whitaker looking to tag on 2 more points. But coming up to 6 minutes to go. Too late in the day for this Rochdale side. Rochdale 12, Swinton 38 the scoreline now. And Cunningham pouncing from close range to get his first of the season. And Challenge Cup quarter-final action is next up after the Summer Bash. One Summer Bash game to go, but then we're back on Thursday evening at 7:30 on Sky Sports Arena, John Smith Stadium. The quarter-final between the Huddersfield Giants and the Catalan Dragons. And then Friday we're at Featherstone, as that's the ground where the Leeds Rhinos will be taking on the Lee Centurions in their quarter-final. 7:30 on Sky Sports Arena for that one as well. Two sides licking their wounds after this weekend. And a cup semi-final place at stake as Hankinson gets the game back underway after that Cunningham try and the Tyler Whitaker conversion.
Release! 1, go.
Pat Moran, tis in possession. Dave Allen.
Move!
32 years of age now, but still enthusiastic despite the situation of the game. Lee Mitchell gets the pass away to Jonah Cunningham, but he's immediately pounced on. Great check it was. Mitchell's down in back play by the look of things with a touch of cramp. Yates.
4, move, Brad!
He has played well, Dave.
Oh.
Dave Allen has the problem with Lee Mitchell. He was just stretching then. I'm not sure whether that's cramp or something else down in back play. The physio's on now, having a little look at him.
Rob Masson plays the ball on the last. The kick's hoisted high, but Gabriel Fell, not under any great pressure, took that one very calmly and cleanly.
Yeah, you look at them high balls that's coming down, swirling wind everywhere, and you're isolated all on your own. And you think any youngster growing up, do you want to be a fullback when you've got to catch those and the team's expecting you to catch those? Anyone breaks free, you've got to take him to ground.
We've seen some good young fullbacks on show, haven't we, today? And I think the #1 rule they've all got right: you never take your eye off the ball. That is the golden rule, and your teammates will thank you for that as well, because when the ball goes over your head in the defensive line, the one thing you don't want to be worrying about is whether that ball is going to be going to ground or not.
Josh Woods just finds a bit of greenery to land that one on.
See his reaction straight away, Bill, when he kicks that ball, rubs his hand through his head, thinking, oh, just got away with that. I wanted just a bit more space. It was close, but he will play those percentages. And Stuart Littler still not smiling. 38 points in front, or 38 points to 12.
Wonder what his reaction is if his birthday or Christmas.
He needs to go and sit with them. They look like they're having a good time. He needs cheering up.
Time back on.
Here's Dion Cross for Rochdale.
Move, Brad! Hold. Go.
And it hasn't been Rochdale Hornets' day.
2, move! Go.
And they'll be conscious of the fact that this win for Swinton will put them under pressure at the bottom of the table. Swinton looking to get out at the bottom too. Cunningham. And here's Pat Moran. Rochdale finishing with a bit of a flourish. Batley Dewsbury to come. Their supporters in the ground waiting for that one. Cross. He's tackled about 5 or 6 metres away from that try line. Dave Allen. Allen puts a little kick in. It's not a bad one. And it's Rodri Lloyd who is able to bring the ball away. Well, at least get it out of his own in-goal area.
Well, you look at the efforts from Dave Allen, who's made 39 tackles in this game. Every time he seems to get the ball, the defence from Swinton stands off him. They know that he can play. He's a talented player. Maybe would have liked to have seen him playing more of a pivot role in this game instead of more trapped on an edge.
Plenty of shirts in the ground still from different clubs, not just Swinton and Rochdale, but the Dewsbury and Batley fans here. There's even 1 or 2 Liverpool shirts in from last night, dejected looking supporters. I know quite a number of players from yesterday evening took themselves off to Anfield to watch the game there. Ended up disappointingly, of course. This isn't going to end up disappointingly for Swinton, although Declan Kay is going to try and finish with a flourish. He's not tackled, says the referee, so the fullback keeps going.
A penalty. Rodri Lloyd with a little tug on the leg of Kay. Good effort from Kay, wasn't it? Showed some great desire then, not to be beaten, getting to his feet. There's a problem now.
I think Shane Grady was one of those going off from after Halifax's win over Featherstone. He was going off to Anfield to join the fun there. At least he had something to celebrate, though.
Did know the game wasn't at Anfield, though, didn't he? That's
yeah,
probably why he was disappointed.
It would have. The minibus couldn't quite get to Kiev in time after the victory over Featherstone. So a bit of a stoppage here. Declan Kay.
The best headline from that one I saw this morning as well was Carriers chickens out in Kiev, which I thought was excellent.
Oh, right, got that. Yeah. That's a fine dining reference, Terry.
Yeah, I get it. Just, I didn't think it was any good, though, to be fair.
Here's Pat Moran.
Move! Hold.
Rochdale.
2.
Trailing. Having been really in the hunt at the start of this second half. Earl Hurst, and this defence from Swinton has been good in the second half as well. They haven't had it all their own way. They've had to do some work on their own try line, and we've seen a couple of really good try-saving tackles from them. Here's Yates. Yates gets the pass away. Oh, and it's Chris Hankinson who seizes on it and then gets the pass away to Mike Button. But
oh, then there's a little
might have been a butt in there as well. There is a butt. He's on the ground.
There was a little shot from Gabriel Felt, I think, on Danny Yates. 79 minutes gone, and they've still got this much energy. The sun's been out. We're in the middle of Blackpool. It's called the Blackpool Bash.
Boys, let's go back.
Gabriel Felt then pulls away. There's a bit of a problem.
Richard, let's go. Let's go, Richard.
Look at this. Hankinson gets himself in the middle. Through a couple of defenders. Jonah Cunningham gets shrugged off. Then he jumps off and gets into him again. Yates comes in. There's a little dig on Yates from Gabriel Felt. But then all the players, then there's a lot of handbags at dawn, pushing and shoving. Players going on the ground, more or less trying to split it up.
Josh Barlow, the peacemaker. And
time off.
Conference
between
the officials.
We've got an original penalty. Danny Yates. Yep. Have you got any players running in Swinton after that? Have you seen any punches? Okay. I recommend penalty, warning Danny Yates. Anything different? Okay. Danny
Yates is the man being called out by
Danny
Rossley.
Danny Yates.
Josh Barlow wanting to contribute to the discussion.
Yep. Yeah. Penalty here. That's it. We don't need anything right now. Penalty high tackle over here.
You got that right.
You know, he has to deal with a lot, doesn't he, Matt Rossley? He's looking at this incident, he's looking at the tackle, looking at the offload, looking at players coming in, looking at little satellite scuffles.
Mike Butt objected to that from Danny Yates. And the ball's just booted into touch. That's the final action. And Stuart Littler, something to celebrate at last for his Swinton side. First win of the season. 2 draws to their name, but this is the first winning feeling they've got. No wonder Chris Hankinson, who's contributed a fantastic goal-kicking performance, is all smiles. They have beaten their big rivals, their bottom 2 rivals, Rochdale, and beaten them in convincing fashion. A really emphatic second-half performance. It was 12-6 at half-time. You didn't know which way this game was going to go, but they hit Rochdale early on with that Will Hope try, and that seemed to set Swinton on a roll, and Rochdale never really recovered until late in the day, too late in the day. Jonah Cunningham crossed the line, but Swinton get the win.
Well, they struggled with the power and the pace, and in that second half they just had a foothold in the door and they just couldn't control them then, and the way that they played, the way that they were led from the front from some of the key players was very good.
Swinton, we think, off the bottom on points difference after this victory for them, and one of the men guiding them around the pitch, Josh Woods, man of the match. Here he is with Angela.
There you go, Josh, there's your man of the match winning salver. How does the winning feeling feel?
It was a great win. We knew Rochdale would come, but we just dug in there. We rode it out the first half, and then second half thought we were class. We completed our sets and we ground them down in the end.
And you scored a try.
Yeah, that was all right. It was just a walk-in, but we were all done by Liam Paisley. But from 1 to 17, I thought it was a great effort today.
You bossed the effort out there, didn't you?
Yeah, it's just about taking us around the field. We knew we could do it for our shapes on, so it was a great to get the win.
A great win against the biggest rivals as well. There's no better, I would say, stage really to do that.
Yeah, it was a massive game. We knew we needed 2 points today. It was win at all costs, and we did that. It was a great feeling.
A few more points and you might have just gone above them in the table.
Yeah, but it's, we're on to next week now. We'll hopefully do the same again.
Well, we've got a check here for you for the Man of the Match Betfred Championship Man of the Match. Who's it going to go to?
Wigan and the Hospice.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cheers. And we've got Lee Mitchell, Lee, Rochdale captain. Lee, this disappointing afternoon for you. Nothing like what you expected this afternoon.
Yeah, no. I think we've got a lot of young lads out there. I think the occasion maybe got the better of us a little bit. I think we've got some lads, quite a lot of them, where it's their first game on TV and stuff today. And I don't think we handled that the best, but we'll learn from it. We're a young side. We've got to keep getting in there, but we just need to give ourselves a chance to, compete in these games just a little bit more. We've been so inconsistent over the last few weeks. We didn't do too good against Batley, and then we played really well last week against them, but just didn't come up with the goods. I know, and at times there we're playing some really good rugby where we're throwing the ball about, but we just need a little bit more of it, and we're going to keep going and keep improving, but. We've got to start picking up some of these results. Like next week's game now is massive for us. Play Swinton again away at Swinton. We really need a result there, so it's another big week for us this week.
They're all big ones, aren't they? Thanks very much for your time, Lee.
Thank you very much, Jez.
We've got the coach now, Alan Kilshaw. Alan, you've been more disappointed with that second half than you were with the first.
Yeah, look, we've got a real young spine in there, young half-backs, both our nines are young, and I just think the occasion got to them as a group. There's a lot of young lads in there. I think there's 9, 21 and younger, and I'm disappointed for them because the effort and enthusiasm was there, but just we've got to learn how to play the game and be a bit smarter, and we bombed a couple of chances, we didn't complete our sets, and it's all about possession and field position, and we didn't have any really.
And a little bit of momentum takes over, and before you know it, you're 2 tries behind. in the second half and just chasing the game then.
Yeah, we were, and I think we bombed one as well in the second half, where might have got us back in the game. We just couldn't get into a rhythm in the second half. For Josh Woods, man of the match, he was well deserved. His kicking game really hurt us. His kicking game, was probably a big factor in that momentum, and we couldn't get any, and our set finishes were really poor.
And positive to come out of it, if there are any, and the fact that you've got the experience now, these kids will learn from that.
Yeah, definitely. That's one thing. We'll go in there. We'll speak about it. We're not dead yet. We're still in the fight. There's 14 games left. We play Swinton next week, and hopefully we'll look a lot different next week than we did today.
Thanks for your time. And it's nice to see Auckland on the TV as well in his smart suit. We've got Stuart Littler now. Stuart is the winning, victorious coach of the Swinton Lions. Are you going to have a smile on your face now, Stu?
Now I can, yeah.
You can now. Even when you got that far ahead, you were 30-odd points ahead. Did you feel as though you still had to carry on?
Oh, it's been a long time coming. Obviously, we've been to some dark places this year. I'm just proud of every one of my boys that stood up. I was a little bit disappointed at half-time, even though I was winning. So we spoke about a few things at half-time. I thought the boys really fixed that up, and Josh took control of the game, Josh Woods, and like I say, we've been to some dark places. I'm just glad that the people that stuck by us week in, week out, the missuses, the families, all the fans who stick there every week, and hopefully now we can kick on to new things. We're obviously Rochdale next week, and we can kick on and start climbing up the table.
First win of the year as well. A massive result this is for you tonight. It shows what you can do.
Yeah, obviously we were close last week with Barrow. A last-minute penalty made a draw, so a bit disappointed. Had a down group on Monday, Tuesday this week, and we've got to work hard. Come through that adversity. It's brought us tighter, and we're a tight group. And now we've got to kick on to the next game now, and we've got a massive month ahead. We've got Rochdale next week in Sheffield, but we can't look in front of Rochdale next week. Obviously they're a quality side. I know we've got a good victory today, but it's nip and tuck in this league, and if you don't turn up, you get turned over.
Thanks for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Keep smiling.
They will do it all again next Sunday, Swinton and Rochdale. But Stuart Littler on the trip home tonight can reflect on a great performance for his Swinton Lions. Their first win since last September. 38-12 they won in the end. 12-6 at half-time. And Phil Clark, they started with a trio of tries to start the second half, really, that blew Rochdale away.
Well, it was nip and tuck until that brilliant offload that set them up there with Will Hope going over to score. That extended it, and then this was an opportunity. Look, he went close to the sideline, and
Declan Kay released it there. Yeah.
Released the ball there, but from that point on, he just powered over George Tyson from close range. Video referee looking at that.
Then we had a special moment where, I mean, it could have been a Rochdale try, and it went length of the field, the action.
Well, they bombed the chance, didn't they, really, at that point here. Look, there's some good speed. When you watch this match, it felt like the battle between the two teams at the bottom of the table, and there was very little in between at parts until we then saw this fantastic breakdown field.
Well, what about the pace here? And you have to say they were completely blitzed, Rochdale, but that doesn't really give you a true indication, a true picture of how dominant Stuart Littler's side were. I thought Josh Woods was special. He's Kevin Brown look-alike. He takes control of the game exactly like Kevin Brown, slows the game down to his pace. Good thinker, and he's got a great future.
Heartbreaker, 30-6 to Rochdale. Then Dave Allen, no try.
It was Liam Paisley goes in first for Swinton before Dave Allen, who tried tirelessly all afternoon. You'd back him to score these 99 times out of 100, but again, another magnificent effort, great commitment from Swinton. But you squint, you shut your eyes a little bit, and that could be from 1996 from Jonah Cunningham, the younger.
And a little bit at the end.
Well, a little bit, and Danny Yates, as we remember this time last year, when Swinton played Oldham, was miraculously raised from the dead. When, if you remember, he was laid prone on the floor, jumped up. He wasn't the same case, and he was probably picked on a little bit there.
Well, have Swinton risen from the dead? Their first win of the season sees them jump over the Rochdale Hornets into 11th spot. It may be only just one move, but it may be psychologically significant that they are no longer bottom of the table. And as I said, these two teams will meet again next Sunday, with the chance for either of them to move closer to the Dewsbury Rams, who will be in action in Game 3 of Day 2 in the Heavy Woolen Derby against Batley. That is not far away, but first we will reflect on that victory for Swinton Lions. The game in the whole was dominated really by the Swinton Lions. Looked the hungrier side, looked the more accurate side, and look at the deserved winner of those two Betfred Championship points.
two nervous teams, I thought. I think when you look at Stuart Littler, who I've known pretty much throughout his career, I've never seen him not smile. And you could see the tension, you could see the nervousness in his face, and his side wasn't overwhelmed by the occasion. You listen to Lee Mitchell, you listen to Alan Kilshaw, their assessment was pretty accurate. Their team, their important players, their pivots were very young and very overawed.
Stuart Littler picked out Josh Woods as one of the standout performers in that game. If you look back on it though, and he may reflect back and look at George Tyson's performance and look beyond just a couple of tries he scored, there was an all-round brilliant performance by George Tyson.
Well, I think if you look back in 3 years' time and watch your regular Super League fixtures, there'll be some player who's played in that match, I don't know which team, picking up the man of the match. I think there were lots of young players who've got the potential. You saw George Tyson there, the centre, just spinning through tackles, was very impressive. But, I mean, players like Jonah Cunningham, who scored later on, and I know that was another try for Swinton there. There are strong performances from both teams. And as a young player making the sacrifices that these guys have to make, you need some reward for that. They've had some reward with some exposure here on TV, which will have given them a lift. Some of them have scored some points, which also gives them a boost. And I think that the challenge I would set out to them now is you have to kick on to another level and prove that you're good enough to play in the division above where you currently sit. You've got time on your side, but you certainly need to put in that extra effort.
That's looking into the future. The more immediate battle for both of these sides is to stay in the championship. They'll be looking at the Heavy-Wound Derby coming up next, praying that Dewsbury don't win and they become detached, I suppose, at the bottom of the table. They'll have a chance, one of them, to maybe get another 2 points next Sunday. Looking forward just slightly to that, Barry, would you say that Swinton are the more likely, or will Rochdale be stung and Alan Kilshaw be stung into action and recoup some of the lost credentials here today?
Alan Kilshaw talked about the players that were missing and how he had inexperience in that spine, the 1, 6, 7 and 9 positions. That's always going to hurt you. But one of the things that Phil said, it's a great point, but expanding on that point, it's not just about playing your best game on the biggest stage, Phil. It's also about replicating that each and every week, making sure you maintain those standards. So for the Swinton players, it's about, we did it last week, so let's do it again this week. And for Rochdale, you look at your opposite number. There's a player who used to start with me opposite number, or the pack, or the forwards, or the props, and he used to say, I want to do more than them. I want to make sure my game is better than their game. And if you look at your Swinton players and contrast them with the Rochdale players, then it's obvious to me why the result was as it was.
Barry, on Friday night we watched Warrington and we talked about a player called Ben Pomeroy, a 34-year-old Australian who's come from France back over here. I would again challenge those young players and say, listen, you've got an opportunity to make sure that when a Super League side is hit by injuries, they don't look to France or Australia, but they look to the Championship and they bring somebody in here who has the determination and the ability, I know Ben Pomeroy has greater experience, to prove that there's a future for them from that game here now and use that as a springboard up into Super League.
Might George Tyson be one of those? 2 tries in Swinton's win over Rochdale, a win that lifts them off the bottom of the Betfred Championship table and puts them within striking distance of Dewsbury, who are up in Game 3 of Day 2 of the 2018 Summer Bash. Can Matt Diskin and the Batley Bulldogs stay within touching distance of the top 4? Find out. It's coming up next here on Sky Sports Arena.
Big chase on him, Luke Gay with a drop goal! He has kicked it!
We had a special moment where, I mean, it could have been a Rochdale try, and it went length of the field, the action.
Well, they bombed the chance, didn't they, really, at that point here? Look, there's some good speed. When you watch this match, it felt like the battle between the two teams at the bottom of the table. And there was very little in between at parts until we then saw this fantastic breakdown field.
Well, what about the pace here? And you have to say they were completely blitzed, Rochdale, but that doesn't really give you a true indication, a true picture of how dominant Stuart Littler's side were. I thought Josh Woods was special. He's Kevin Brown look-alike. He takes control of the game exactly like Kevin Brown, slows the game down to his pace. Good thinker, and he's got a great future.
Heartbreaker, 30-6 to Rochdale. Then Dave Allen, no try.
It was Liam Paisley goes in first for Swinton before Dave Allen, who tried tirelessly all afternoon. You'd back him to score these 99 times out of 100, but again, Another magnificent effort, great commitment from Swinton, but you squint, you shut your eyes a little bit, and that could be from 1996 from Jonah Cunningham. The younger...
And a little bit at the end.
Well, a little bit, and you know, Danny Yates, as we remember this time last year, when Swinton played Oldham, was miraculously raised from the dead. When, if you remember, he was laid prone on the floor, jumped up, he wasn't the same case, and he was probably picked on a little bit there.
Well, have Swinton risen from the dead? Their first win of the season sees them jump over the Rochdale Hornets into 11th spot. It may be only just one move, but it may be psychologically significant that they are no longer bottom of the table. And as I said, these two teams will meet again next Sunday, with the chance for either of them to move closer to the Dewsbury Rams, who will be in action in Game 3 of Day 2 in the Heavy Woolen Derby against Batley. That is not far away, but first we will reflect on that victory for Swinton Lions. The game in the whole was dominated really by the Swinton Lions. Looked the hungrier side, looked the more accurate side, and look at the deserved winner of those 2 Betfred Championship points.
Two nervous teams, I thought. I think when you look at Stuart Littler, who I've known pretty much throughout his career, I've never seen him not smile, and you could see the tension, you could see the nervousness in his face, and his side wasn't overwhelmed by the occasion. You listen to Lee Mitchell, you listen to Alan Kilshaw, their assessment was pretty accurate. Their team, their important players, their pivots were very young and very overawed.
Stuart Littler picked out Josh Woods as one of the standout performers in that game. If you look back on it though, and he may reflect back and look at George Tyson's performance and look beyond just a couple of tries he scored, there was an all-round brilliant performance by George Tyson.
Well, I think if you look back in 3 years' time and watch your regular Super League fixtures, there'll be some player who's played in that match, I don't know which team, picking up the man of the match. I think there were lots of young players who've got the potential. You saw George Tyson there, the centre, just spinning through tackles, was very impressive. But, I mean, players like Jonah Cunningham, who scored later on, and I know that was another try for Swinton there. There are strong performances from both teams. And as a young player, making the sacrifices that these guys have to make,